what would happen if Iran gave ballistic missiles to Russia? Are ballistic missiles being sent from Iran to Russia? What about Montenegro? Where is Montenegro, and what is their situation with the European Union? How many Balkan states are there in the European Union? Finally, Martin O'Malley. Who is he? What is he now? What type of impact does he have? And how many people actually voted for him? All that and more today on The Worldview. So today what we're going to start with is the situation with Iran and Russia. With Iran and Russia, basically what's happening is that Iran is giving them, selling Russia ballistic missiles, right? And the U.S. and G7 says, hey, enough of this. You can't be doing this. And this is the here we have a situation where you have ballistic missiles that are put on to trucks. This is really a problem because these things are movable. It's not like you have silos where you just can track them. You have to constantly track these trucks. These trucks move from place to place to place to place, and it's really difficult to be able to track them. Intelligence is good, but you move them at night. You move them in a situation where you just don't know where they all are. A perfect example of this was the Scud missiles in Iraq. There were many a time in Iraq when the Scud missiles were being moved, intelligence didn't know where they were. So they were fired. They were all of a sudden you could detect the plume, and that was when they were fired. So that was a definite issue whenever they talk about those. And this is an Iranian ballistic missile. Now, the problem is Iran may be close to developing a nuclear weapon. You put a nuclear weapon on that, all of a sudden you have a delivery system, then you have a nuclear weapon. That's going to be a problem. So that's where hey, enough of this. So G7 and the United States are going to put more sanctions on Iran. But let me tell you something. What has that done? When you have a despotic country like that, where the normal individual at the bottom of the rung is basically starving or can't get what they need, it doesn't make any difference to the leaders, because the leaders will get what they need whenever they need it, whether it be food or shelter or medical care, whatever that may be. So all of a sudden now you have a situation where they're putting sanctions on Iran. They don't seem to be working. Also, the sanctions against Russia don't seem to be working. I mean, I don't see people starving in the streets. Of course, it'd be very rare that Russia would let you see that anyways. But that's what's happening here. So the G7 is saying, nope, enough of this. So that's they're saying Iran Air can no longer fly to Europe, right? Fine, okay, significant measures, okay. It doesn't seem to be working, but that's just what's happening. Another from AP. Energy Department conditionally approves $2.26 billion loan for huge lithium mine in Nevada. So let's discuss this for a second. You have a lithium mine that basically will produce lithium to be able to go into batteries, to be able to power electric vehicles. That's fine. Okay, I get that. All right, that's fine. A couple of things I'd like to question at this point is, what happens when those batteries are no good anymore? How are they going to be recycled? What type of energy is going to take to recycle these? The Energy Department basically said we're going to have $2.26 billion $2.26 billion loan for this lithium mine in Nevada, but it includes tribal lands. This includes tribal lands. Tribal lands don't want to have this, and there's some environmental concerns which are being brought up. The PolitiFact has stated, well, there's really no problem there. The Biden administration understands what's going on. And interestingly enough, the mine was originally put into play under the Trump administration. Interesting, right? I mean, that's happening. So I wanted to talk more about this, and I'm going to here in a second. So PolitiFact states that Grassley, Republican, who stated in 2021, Biden administration ignores the negative environmental impact created by lithium mining. PolitiFact says, no, that's not true. They are. Okay, $75 million to increase lithium supplies with less environmental impact through battery recycling. Interesting, battery recycling. Okay. New lithium mine in Nevada. Yep. Bureau of Land Management is vetting another proposed lithium mine against a full menu of environmental concerns. But yet, $2.26 billion is being given to the company to mine on Nevada, right? So I just thought that's very interesting. Grassley says, that they're ignoring negative environmental impact. What is that environmental impact? Well, first of all, you have to separate lithium from the salts. Lithium basically, from what I understand, is kind of a salt, but you have to separate that from other salts. To do that takes water. It takes water and chemicals to do that, and that produces a runoff that is toxic. So it'll be interesting to see where that runoff goes and how much water they need to be, especially in Nevada, how much water they're going to need to be able to make that mine work. So it says, and PolitiFact, PolitiFact to me, and this is my opinion, PolitiFact really, they try to be fair and nonpartisan and whatever else. But it seems to me I see a lot of PolitiFact done on Democrats that would be considered to be false, and in most situations they either do it true or half true, that type of thing, which they very rarely do when it comes to Republicans. And this is interesting. It says Biden and his Democratic Party offer themselves as environmental defenders. It would be a big deal if they sacrificed local environmental safety in the quest to meet national or global climate change goals. This is PolitiFact talking. It's like, okay, so what you're saying is that Biden and his Democrat Party, I hate to call them Democrat Party, offers themselves as environmental defenders, and therefore they're going to defend the environment no matter what. Sorry, what? So it's that type of situation I just don't quite understand, but okay. It's news stories about Thacker Pass, 1,000-acre open pit mine, expected to produce 60,000 metric tons per year of battery-grade lithium carbonate. Right? BLM gave it final approval of 2021, final week of Trump administration. The move drew a quick reaction from those who saw the mine as a threat. The local ranchers sued to reverse a permit, as did several land conservation groups. What are they doing now? Are they still going in and trying to reverse the permit? Or are they saying, well, it's okay because, Biden is environmentally concerned? Really? Cut me a break. So that's what's happening there. Then this one, NPR, comes up and says, tribes object, but a federal ruling approves construction of the largest lithium mine. This is July 17, 2023. This is NPR. They're basically saying here, U.S. Appeals Court has denied a last-ditch legal effort to block construction of what's expected to be the largest lithium mine in North America on federal land in Nevada. Mining on federal land in Nevada, first brought up by Trump, bad. Now Biden, okay. This is very interesting. Despite pressure from West Coast Paiute tribes and environmentalists, the Biden administration did not reverse the decision, had to continue to advocate for the mine, which would be located on remote federal land near the Nevada-Oregon border. I just thought I'd bring this stuff up. I'm not making this stuff up. This is what's happening here. So I just thought I'd throw that out there. Okay, here it comes back to Brussels and back to Europe. Brussels recommends opening EU membership talks with Bosnia and Herzegovina. Now, that's not just Bosnia and Herzegovina. They just brought up talks in the Western Balkans. They want to get the Western Balkans. Where are the Western Balkans? Well, let's find out. So we're going to do the Western Balkans here real quick. So this is Google Earth again. So let's go to the Western Balkans. This is very interesting how this is working, really. So this is Bosnia and Herzegovina. This is what EU is talking about here. Montenegro wants to come into play. Now, here's where it gets really shaky. Not shaky, but weird. Albania, I'm sure they want to have some talks with. Now, the interesting thing about it is who of these are already part of EU? So the best place to find that really is here. You got to find it here. So just, member countries of the EU. So you just put that in there, boom. It should member states of the EU Wikipedia, which list of 27 European Union members. We'll put that in there. Here we go. EU set up European Union. I like this a lot better. All right, so countries of the Euro. So here, 27 countries of the European Union, and here they are. Austria, Belgium, Bulgaria. Croatia is already part of that. Bulgaria is part of that. Estonia, Finland, Hungary, Ireland. You notice Albania is not part of that, right? Slovakia, Slovenia is. Sweden. So here's the 27 countries, right? And that's what's starting all that. So it's interesting to see that they want to come in and do this situation. And I think when you talk about this, Croatia is already part of it, right? So Bosnia and Herzegovina wants to be next. Here's what will get the issue. Montenegro wants to be in there. Then Kosovo. Now this is where Serbia is going to start really having a problem with this, because the situation in Serbia and Kosovo is very bad, very much a hot spot. So all of a sudden Kosovo becomes part of the European Union. Serbia is not part of that. It could get to be very tense in those areas, because Bulgaria is, Croatia is, Slovenia is, they're going to get Bosnia is, Montenegro is, Bosnia would become part of that, then Montenegro, and then all of a sudden Kosovo would say, well, Montenegro is, Bulgaria is, we want to be part of that. Now you start to get into this situation. Remember, Greece is. So they're down here. So Greece is. So this whole thing is very interesting. Our European Union is trying to stretch themselves out to try to get more countries and to figure out exactly what's going on with that. I just love it. And I wanted to see if Lithuania, Slovakia, Romania. So Romania is too. So Bulgaria is, Greece is, Romania is, it's all European Union. Right? So there's Slovakia is, Austria is, Hungary. So that's basically what's going on in that area and that part of the world. I wanted to make sure and bring that up. So Yemen's Houthi reported to have hypersonic missile possibly raising stakes in the Red Sea crisis. All right, let's talk about this just for a second. Hypersonic, boom, 3,800 miles per hour. I mean, this thing it's hypersonic, right? You have subsonic, sonic, supersonic, hypersonic. And that is when it's subsonic is below speed of sound. The speed of sound is designated by altitude. The higher the altitude, the less it takes to go to the speed of sound, because it's less dense air. That is where the situation exists. But what about the hypersensitive aspect? So here's where you get, I went out and I saw this from airandSpaceForces.com. Why hypersonic missiles' greatest strength also makes them vulnerable. Because what happens is the faster you go, the more that you generate heat, the more that you generate, there is a wave behind you. You detect that wave, bang, you know exactly, you can figure out where they're going. So it's just interesting, and this was December 20th, 2023. Hypersonic missiles also, and this is me from some research, says that it can't carry nuclear weapons. Because if you put a nuclear weapon on there and you make it go 3,800 miles per hour, the heat generated from that type of speed, which there's a lot of heat generated from that, will either make the nuclear weapon explode, the detonation of the non-nuclear material, or it will render it useless because of the heat generated from the actual missile itself. So that's just some research that I did on that, and I just want to let you know on that area. Niger, junta revokes military agreement with the U.S. The U.S. had a base there, and they've decided now that Niger wants them out. Niger had a coup, and of course the U.S. said we don't like that type of stuff. Well, they're kicking them out, so they're gone. Interestingly enough. And the last show, I mean, I hate to just kind of throw this at you, but that's basically what's happening. And the military agreement allowed U.S. personnel to be deployed in the country, which was nice because having a base there puts us in the middle of Africa rather than, on the outskirts, which has always seemed to me as interesting because Africa to me, you know where AFRICOM is located? AFRICOM is located in Germany. African Command is located in Germany. I thought that was always interesting. Why aren't they located in Africa? Anyways. Niger. Niger is right here, right above Nigeria. So it's right near Chad, Mali. I have a lot of coups here. And here's Algeria and Libya. So this was nice to be able to have a base here, right? Because you got, Libya, not really our friend. Algeria, kind of, he's there okay. Mali under a coup. Chad, not very stable at all. Sudan, not very stable at all. So we had an area here which was nice, but now we no longer have that. So strategically, not really a great situation because, as you can see, Niger is in a pretty solid space right here in Africa. It's still fur peace from CAR, from the Democratic Republic of Congo, here, Rwanda, and the rest of that area. But still, it was near some hot spots, which was really nice to have. So that's it with that. Now, let's go back to Protecting Americans from Foreign Adversary Control Applications Act. This is the TikTok thing. This is, if anybody wants to see what happens here, the best thing to do is just go to congress.gov and look up the bill, and it'll tell you exactly what's happening. Bill history, record references, all information. I mean, this is really nice. Roll call votes. So you can see the roll call vote here. You can actually go to the roll call vote. It will say, hey, roll number 86, this is what it was. And now, when you get there, now you can see who voted yay, who voted nay. This is nice for me because I like to look up my state. You can look up by state. So I like to look up my state. So let's see in North Carolina who did that. Well, I would expect the Democrats to say yay, and the Republicans to say yay in most situations. But here's all the way down North Carolina, yay, 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 except for one guy, Bishop, in North Carolina. His area is Charlotte, right, which is a very populous city, probably one of the most populous in North Carolina. So as a result of that, they probably have a lot of people on TikTok. He voted nay, so probably helped him in his run if he's running this year for election. So this is really nice to be able to make that. You can search by name, all parties, all votes. You can say yay, nay, whatever it is, and you can say nay, no, and there's your Bishop, right? If you say all states, then it'll show you exactly who did, right? Biggs, Bishop, Bauman, Boyle, Bush, Clark, Claiborne, Davidson, they all voted nay, right? So Getz voted nay. Gomez, Green, Hayes, Higgins. So you can see exactly who voted on that bill. It's a nice way to find out, what is my representative doing? Are they doing what I would expect them to do? If not, I need to call them and say, why did you vote nay on this, or why did you vote yay on this? Let me give you an example. Protecting Americans. Oh, this is the actual one there. Martin J. O'Malley, who was the Baltimore mayor at one point in time and the governor of Maryland, was put in as a nominee for Social Security Administration. I used to work for the Social Security Administration, so this was kind of hit home for me. I wanted to see what type of person this was. This guy, he was voted in, and now there's some things I'm going to point out in his background, factual stuff in his background. O'Malley vows to listen to frontline Social Security workers. I've talked to some Social Security workers. They're not very happy. And the reason they're not very happy is because all of a sudden everybody's got to go back to work, and it's got to be like right now. And there's rumors when things like that happen, especially in federal government, and I spent over 3 decades in federal government, either military or civilian, and what happens is, in those situations, or contractor, in those situations is that rumors start to fly. Like, the reason that O'Malley's doing this is because he's got a friend who has a lease on the buildings in some of the areas where they're not being populated, and therefore they need to be populated to be able to make the lease worthwhile. Rumors like that don't help, but that's what happens within the government. This individual, as far as I know, has never spent one day, not one day, in the federal government. He's been state government all the way. So I don't know how he intends on doing that, but I love the way he says, hey, we're going to fix this. And has struggled to meet an array of challenges, from long hold hot times as call centers, lines of field offices around the country. The agency had a 25-year low in staffing in 2022, despite a steadily growing number of beneficiaries. Employee morale has plummeted. It has, falling from the second best largest agency at which to work in federal government per the annual Federal Employee Viewpoint Survey to that over last decade. Second best large agency. I don't know where government executive is getting that. I don't remember us ever being number 2. Now, maybe we were at one point in time. The best I know of is we were number 5. We were in the top 10. I don't remember it being second best. So this might be hyperbole here. I'll have to take a look, but I don't know where they're getting that from, because I've looked at the best places to work. I just don't know where they're coming from that. But they are last. They're dead last. What Social Security has need of is a common operating platform that allows everyone to see what's happening in the organization, he said. I don't know where he's coming from. Right now, if you look at the org chart, it's massive and extremely siloed. The key to collaboration, improving service and efficiency, as well as staying in budgets, is to break ourselves out of 240 years of tradition that says, that's my data, that's my budget. Yeah, okay. Yeah, he's going to walk in as a political appointee with no federal experience, and he's going to just tell Social Security how to do this. Every single time these people walk in and they do this stuff. And it's just amazing how how agency leaders analyze data, reducing their focus on so-called lagging indicators, like the average wait time at Social Security call centers, how long it takes for disability benefits. I believe the top priority is that for as large an agency as Social Security, over 70,000 people, I think, around there. Lagging indicators are pretty clear that we have to meet. So, he goes on and on and on. He's, but let's talk about him for a second. So he goes into the presidential fray in 2016, and he won 2 terms as governor in Maryland. The whole reason he won 2 terms as governor, and I'll go into this in a second, is because of the contacts he knew, and the fact that he was a good-looking guy. And he speaks well. So boom, he got himself Baltimore mayor, and then he got himself whatever. So 2016, he gets into the fray, into the presidential fray. Baltimore unrest raises question about O'Malley's record as mayor. So what did he do? All right. Zero tolerance law enforcement policies as mayor from 1999 to 2006. Zero tolerance. The record shows the murders and violent crime declined. But in that time, a grand jury concluded that too many arrests were being made in black neighborhoods without merit. And the city set a lawsuit from people who said they were wrongly arrested for minor offenses. This is Martin O'Malley. Thought I'd just throw that out, and this is PBS. So it's not like I'm taking some far right-wing deal here. This is from PBS News Weekend. So that could be a problem. Then he goes to a Black Lives Matter thing. And Martin O'Malley was, he's sitting there, and then he says, as leaders of this country, will you advance an agenda that will dismantle structural racism in this country? Yes, O'Malley said. And then they started to say Black Lives Matter, and he stated, quote, Black lives matter, white lives matter, all lives matter. O'Malley said to boos and jeers. And that was it. That was pretty much all he had. So I mean, he couldn't answer the protesters. He didn't know what was going on, and now you're going to have him in charge of Social Security. That's just fantastic. So let's take a look at 2022 Best Place to Work in the federal government rankings. This is Best Place to Work. The Partnership for Public Service does this, and let's see where we are here. Social Security Administration 53.9. We're in lower quartile here. 53.9. In 2021, they were 59.9, almost 60%, almost 60. They're not happy. NASA's always number one. NASA's just amazing. They're just, because they have their mission is really cool. Mission is the way to go, right? And this says it again, Best Places to Work rankings. You have all that, and then I want to go to. I mean, this is what's happening. I've tried to look at different things, but I don't see them. Yeah, I don't see Social Security Administration coming up that much. So I mean, and what I did is I tried to figure out who, from the standpoint of. So what I did was I did this. Senate votes on O'Malley, right, for Social Security. So this is the roll call votes, and this is Martin O'Malley of Maryland. I want to know, okay, how did my senators vote? You can find this out. There it is, senate.gov. You can find this out. So so first one I took a look at was Bud, because I called Bud and said, don't vote for this guy. Not voting. What's not voting mean? Not voting means they literally did not vote. What does that do? It puts him in a situation where it says, well, I didn't say no, I didn't say yes, I just didn't vote. It's like, great. And what about Tillis? What did he do? He voted yay. So here's Tillis, a Republican from North Carolina, voting yay for the guy. I didn't call Tillis and say, hey, don't vote for this guy. But anyways, they did. So now he's making some really bad moves over Social Security, but they could have prevented that, but that's fine. Look at the yeas, 50. All Democrats. I mean, except for Democrat Colorado, they didn't vote. It's funny, why he did not vote. Hinkelhooper, whatever his name is, I have no idea. The rest of Democrats, from what I could see, was yay. So interestingly enough, so that's 50 yeas. Nays were 11. Not voting were 39. If all the not voting would have voted nay, that would have made this 50 and 50. It would have gone to Harris to break the tie, which she would have broken the tie. She would have voted for the guy. So I mean, maybe that's what they decided to do, is just never mind. But this is what's happening with that area. I wanted to hit a couple other interesting stories before I get off. Star Wars Millennium Falcon 50 pence coin, I think is that 50 pence coin? Unveiled by the Royal Mint. There it is, 50 pence. It's going to be the Millennium Falcon. First a series dedicated to vehicles of Star Wars. Isn't that great? I mean, heaven forbid they should do, like, I don't know, a famous British citizen, something like that. Got me. Anyways, so that's it with that. Then you got this. Insane plan to save Arctic sea ice. Basically what they're going to do is they're going to pump out salt water. The salt water is going to go over here and freeze immediately because it gets like minus 40 degrees Celsius. And then it will build those ice flows and kick it in. I mean, I don't know how much it's going to save, but interesting way of doing that. You're changing, but you're changing the ecological profile is basically what you're doing. Very interesting what they're doing, though. I mean, hey, what the heck? You know, kind of slow global warming, however it works. A lot of people are calling them nuts, though. Oh, you're crazy. Blah. Anyways, I thought that was interesting. And then on the other side of the world, Iceland, another volcanic flare-up. This thing has been going on, I mean, for months. So this is not cool. Let's say, I mean, Iceland is going to be fireland here soon. It's just not going to be a lot of fun. And the last one, Greenpeace could be thrown out of UN deep sea mining body. So that's, you know, they want to do deep sea mining because you can get manganese, you get nickel, you can get all kind of stuff off the seafloor. And now they're saying no, we're not. You know, don't do that. That's not cool. You're gonna destroy the environment, and that's what's going to happen there. So I just thought I'd throw those things out at you and see what's going on in that arena. And that pretty much does it for these areas. I will go ahead and finish up the summary and the conclusion here, and so I will bid you adieu. Take care and thanks. Thanks for watching The Worldview today. This was done on March 18th, 2024. If you have any questions, you can contact me through Roku TV, Pod TV. You can also get my book, Should the U.S. Reevaluate Its Relationship with France? It's on Amazon and Lulu.com. In the meantime, have a great day, and remember, try to always have a worldview.